How much money do you need to fly private, drive a tiny yacht, and just enjoy the pleasures of life without working day and night? How much wealth do you need to accumulate that your only job will be to make sure you invest that wealth wisely and live off the interest? Let's say you need $2.5 million a year, which should cover all of your expenses. Let's be conservative and assume a 5% interest annually, which means you need to generate at least $50 million of wealth. Now the question is, how many multi-millionaires in the US have at least $50 million of net assets or more? Surprise, surprise, not many. There are a total of 89,510 people in the US with net assets of at least $50 million. This number equals 51% of the ultra-high net worth individuals all over the world. Over half of the ultra-rich people in the entire world are in the US. So, what are your chances of becoming one of them? 0.027%. So, good luck. The problem is that most people choose a mediocre life and prefer an immediate gratification rather than put in the effort now and be rewarded much later. Building wealth takes a lifetime. The overnight success stories you've heard are usually exceptions, or it might have taken these people decades to become an overnight success. But what's certain for sure is that most ultra-successful people follow a set of rules and principles that sets them apart and provide them with an unfair advantage to get everything in life. And in this video, we are going to take a look at a few of them. But before we get into that, let's thank Endel for sponsoring this video. The reason why a lot of people fail is because their attention span is too short and they can't focus. If only they could stay focused on what they do, they could have accomplished so much, especially in this world of social media where we constantly get distracted. So the question is there a tool that can help you stay focused? Yes, it is called Endel. Backed by neuroscience patented technology, it creates personalized soundscapes that helps you focus. It reacts to inputs like time of the day, weather, heart rate, and location, and helps you focus, relax, and sleep. It calms your mind to create feeling of comfort and safety, or soothes you into a deep sleep with soft, gentle sounds. So if you're having a hard time staying focused, if you're suffering from stress or anxiety, if you're struggling with being productive, if you're having trouble sleeping, if you feel tired or your sleeping quality is not good enough, then go ahead and check out Endel. The first 1,000 people to download Endel using the link in the description will get a free week of audio experience. And now, let's get back to the video. When asking for help, appeal to people's self-interest, never to their mercy or gratitude. So how do most people ask for help? If they need something, they would call their friends, neighbors, or anyone and would ask directly for help, but then get disappointed for being always rejected. In fact, the first people you probably call for help is someone whom you helped in the past, because you assume that if you helped someone, they owe you a favor. But often people find ways to ignore that. That's why successful people try to align their interest with the person they are asking for help. Once people see that they can get something by helping you, their resistance to your request for help will magically fall away. At each step of the way, you must train yourself to think your way inside the other person's mind to see their needs and interests. Number 2. Act like a king to be treated like one. If someone is poorly dressed and seems broke and homeless would come and tell you, you know what, if you just work hard and smart, you are going to be rich and successful. What is your reaction going to be? You're not going to take him seriously because he looks broke. On the other hand, if you have someone who is driving a Ferrari and dressed properly would give you the exact same advice, you will get excited and take it seriously. And that's how it works all the time. If you want to be treated in a certain way, you have to look in a certain way. Don't expect to be chased by women, for example, when you look like a broke college student. Don't expect people to buy your product or service when you look like you are barely paying your bills. You want people to do business with you? You want them to trust you? You want them to work with you? Dress properly. Talk as if you are that wealthy, respected person. No one is going to take a deep look into your pockets. The impression you give by the way you look is going to determine how people are going to treat you. Number 3. Avoid the unhappy or the unlucky. This one might sound a bit controversial, but it's important. There are people who love to be the source of negativity, trouble, and misfortune. You talk to them for 15 minutes and they will tell you how terrible the world is, how politicians are ripping us off, and billionaires are destroying the planet and creating wealth inequality. His neighbors are dumb, so he constantly fights with them. He can't find a common language with his parents because his parents are selfish, egoistic people who only care about themselves. So he smokes, drinks, and lives a mediocre life. What's the point of doing anything when the entire world has united against you? Listen carefully. Avoid this type of people. In fact, avoid every person who constantly brings trouble into your life, even if it's your friend, girlfriend, or relative. Never underestimate the danger of infection. Those misfortunes amongst us who have been brought down by circumstances beyond their control deserve all the help and sympathy we can give them. But there are others who are not born to misfortune or unhappiness, but who draw it upon themselves by their destructive actions. Avoid them at all costs. Number 4. Learn to keep people dependent on you. A few weeks ago, I was talking to a friend of mine and he was complaining about his company doesn't care about him. I was really surprised because why do you think your company should treat you like an angel when you're just an accountant clerk who just inserts the data into Excel? I mean, how difficult is it to replace you? There are hundreds of thousands of people who are graduating from accounting schools every single year, and all of them can easily replace you because what you're doing is not difficult to learn. That's why you have to become irreplaceable, either by doing something that is really difficult to do, or if you have an ordinary job, your commitment to your job, your discipline, and exceptional communication skills will make you irreplaceable. Make others dependent on you. To get rid of you might spell disaster, and your boss won't dare even to think about that. There are many ways to obtain such a position. The easiest way is to have a talent or a creative skill that simply cannot be replaced. Number 5. Guard your reputation with your life. People will never know what's inside you. They will only judge you based on your appearances, the way you look, the way you're dressed, the way you talk and behave. And that's a very powerful tool you can use. Be whoever you want deep inside, but the image that people will have about you is entirely in your hands to control. Successful people carefully craft an image of themselves that portrays honesty, integrity, responsibility, kindness, and so on and so forth, so that when they sell something, you instantly trust them, especially politicians. They might be the worst people in the world, but they make sure to make you believe that they are the best people in the world. I'm not saying if that's bad or good, I will leave that for you to answer. I'm just stating a few facts. Number 6. Play to people's fantasies. Reality is often harsh and difficult, and people always want to believe that there is a quick way to get what you want. Instead of working hard, being disciplined, just take my 69 steps course. It will turn you into an overnight millionaire, and people buy into that. Let's be fair. That's not unique to the self-help industry. Grocery stores are filled with junk and unhealthy food that are filled with more sugar than you should consume. And as people are getting conscious about their health, companies are coming out and presenting us with healthy alternative junk food with just a different name and calling it healthy. In fact, sugar is named in 56 different names such as dextrose, fructose, glucose, dextrine, and many others. And people buy into that. Like it or not, that's not going to stop anytime soon. Politicians who are going to propose quick, immediate solutions to complicated problems will always win. Number 7. Use absence to increase respect. Scarcity creates value. Remember the Supreme shirts? There was nothing special about these shirts, but because there were a limited number of them, people stood up in lines for hours and paid hundreds of dollars, if not thousands, for a single shirt. That's why gold is expensive and diamonds are even more expensive, because they are scarce. And that applies to everything else, including yourself. If you're always around, if you talk too much, people will no longer take you seriously. If you want people to value your presence, disappear time to time. The less you speak, the more unpredictable you become, which makes it riskier to insult you or disrespect you, for example. everything in the world depends on absence and presence. A strong presence will draw power and attention to you. You shine more brightly than those around you. But at some point, too much presence creates the opposite effect. The more you're seen and heard from, the more your value degrades. You become a habit. It doesn't matter how hard you try to be different. People respect you less and less. It's a game of hide and seek. The 7 rules that we have discussed are from the book 48 Laws of Power by Robert Greene. Those who have read the book have realized that already. At the end of the day, wealth is power and power is wealth. The more powerful you can get, the wealthier you will become. But power is a social game. It's the ability to understand people and play to their weaknesses. At the end of the day, once you make enough money to fulfill your basic needs, you will want respect, attention, and admiration, and you do not necessarily need money to get that if you know how power works. If you have enjoyed this video, you will most definitely enjoy this custom playlist that I have created specifically for you that has our most popular videos on investing, business, and the stock market that could potentially change your life. And now, give this video a thumbs up that it deserves and make sure to subscribe if you haven't done that yet. Thanks for watching, and until next time.